Hey, what's up, cats and kittens? And shout out to all my Cerebralites. It's me, the Cerebral Diva, back with another episode of In the Loop. And in today's episode, it's going to sort of be the LGBT version of In the Loop, because I want to talk about a couple of articles that I've read over the past couple of days that have really left an indelible impression upon me. And I wanted to share these articles with you guys because if there's anything that really gets under my skin, it's discrimination and bigotry. I can't stand it. And I think it's important for us all to be conscious of the fact that we're all different, but we all live in one society that we all have to share. We all have to live cohesively and peacefully and treat people with kindness and respect. And so I want to read to you guys from these articles, and then I kind of want to, add my little 2 cents in at the end here. So give me just a second to pull these up, and I'll be right back to touch bases with you guys. All right, so the title of the article, by the way, is from the Washington Post. And the title says, as a matter of conscience, a Kentucky judge refuses to hear adoption cases involving gay parents. Here we go. All right. 2 years after a Kentucky county clerk stirred national attention for refusing to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples, a family court judge in the same state announced he will no longer hear adoption cases involving gay parents, calling his stance on the issue a matter of conscience. Judge W. Mitchell Nance, who sits in Barron and Metcalfe counties in Kentucky, issued an order Thursday saying he believes that allowing a practicing homosexual to adopt would under no circumstances promote the best interests of a child, he wrote in the order obtained. The judge disqualified himself from any adoption cases involving gay couples, citing judicial ethics codes requiring that a judge recuse themselves whenever they have a personal bias or prejudice concerning a case. Nance's contentious objection to the concept of gay adoption constitutes such a bias, he argued. The announcement garnered the support from some conservative groups while also spurring intense criticism from some lawyers and judicial experts who viewed the blanket statement as discriminatory and a sign that Nance is not fit to fulfill his duties as judge. Kentucky state law permits gay couples to adopt children, and the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in 2015 that all states must allow gay marriage. So I'm going to end there. I don't want to read you guys the whole article. I just wanted to read you just so you could get the gist of what's happening here. So basically this judge is anti-LGBT or anti-gay in particular, and doesn't believe that same-sex couples can rear a child, which is probably one of the most asinine things that people say. So many people in the LGBT, because a lot of people are so narrow-minded, they still believe that you can somehow influence a person's sexual orientation. Now, most people of the LGBT variety were raised by heterosexual parents, or in some cases, at least by a straight mom or a straight dad, if it's a single household, but by someone who is sort of hetero-identifying. So if it were so easy to influence one's sexuality, then these kids would not be born gay. And I just think that it's so frustrating that people just can't allow people to live and be who they are. Now, if you disagree with the lifestyle, or people, I don't even want to call it a lifestyle, if you disagree with people being intrinsically gay or whatever they identify as, that's fine. You have every right to disagree with that. But what you don't have the right to do is infringe on another person's right to happiness, another person's right to stability, another person's right to normalcy. I can't tell you the number of times I've seen or read cases about children being adopted or fostered by people who simply wanted them for a check. Just wanted them for a check. Wanted to, they adopt a bunch of kids, or they foster a bunch of kids, and for them it's a means to an end. There's nothing loving or nurturing or supportive about it. It's really just a paycheck, and they really just see these children as livestock to some degree. And here you will have 2 gay parents, whether it's man and man, woman and woman, just 2 people who actually love each other and want to provide a stable environment, but because they're gay, you want to automatically disqualify these children. Do you know how many kids are in the system right now who don't have a home, who age out, don't have families? I read a story about maybe 4 years ago, I want to say, and there was this girl, and this isn't, look, I'm judging based on appearance, so sue me if you must, read me if you must, say what you want, but if I were to judge her based on appearance, I would think that she was lesbian. So there was this girl who was lesbian appearing, shall we say. And, cause look, we can talk frankly here, because sometimes you look at people and you can tell, and sometimes you look at people and you can't tell. So I'm just going to be frank. To me, she looked like she was lesbian. And she was a young adult, maybe 25-ish, somewhere in that area. But she had actually placed an ad on Craigslist looking for a family, looking to pay a family so that she could have someone to spend the holidays with. How sad is that? How sad is that she had to post a personal ad in order to find a family because she had no sense of belonging? Now, that's one story. That's one story. That's one person who took things to an extreme in terms of looking for a place to belong. But there are so many people who suffer in silence and don't speak out and don't have families and don't have places to belong. And here we have loving families looking to take on some of that responsibility. And you have people trying to legislate to stop people from finding people to love, to stop people from finding a place to belong based on the fact that they don't agree. If you don't agree with gay adoption, don't be adopted by gay people. It's really that simple. You want to create parameters where you make sure that these kids are put into safe homes where they're loved and nurtured to the same standard that you would do a hetero couple. But at the end of the day, a safe and loving environment is a safe and loving environment. Children don't care. Children just want to be loved. And it's so sad that people are just so prejudiced and so hateful and so bigoted that their level of hatred supersedes the well-being of the children who are being left in the system, who are being left to age out of the system and sort of fend for themselves. It would be different if the same people who were legislating to stop these gay adoptions were people taking on these children. Okay, so you don't want them to be adopted by LGBT families. What are you doing to facilitate and to help these kids find healthy, stable environments? You're not doing anything other than being hateful. Just being hateful. And it burns me up, because a good person is a good person. Doesn't matter if you're black, white, Asian, Native American, Inuit, it doesn't matter. Good is good. And it's the same for sexual orientation. You're going to find some horrible LGBT people and you're going to find some fantastic ones. It doesn't matter who people are. What matters is, I hate to quote Dr. King, but it's the content of the character. And if you're so ignorant that you can't see outside of your own prejudice to understand that a good person can come in any sexual orientation, in any gender identity, then I honestly feel sorry for you, because you're missing out on the opportunities to meet some really good and quality people. And it's a shame that more people cannot think outside of the box and just give people an opportunity to show who they are without being judged just based on the fact that they're different. So this case really burned me up, you guys. But here's the good part. Here's the good part. As much as it angers me, I have to some degree applaud this judge, because at least he had the presence of mind, the wherewithal to say, you know what, I'm not good in this capacity. I'm going to recuse myself and let's have someone else, take over for me, because I can't do that. Now, that's the type of bigot I can hang out with. I mean, if I'm going to hang out with a bigot, that's I like a bold, I like a hand waving, a person who is comfortable in their bigotry. It's these amiable, quiet, surreptitious bigots who sort of have learned to acclimate into society. Those are the bigots that I don't like. The ones who have they say all of the horrible things behind closed doors. This guy is someone I know, he's telling me I'm a bigot. And so, to avoid that, I can appreciate that. So that's one story, you guys. So I'm going to move on from that story. And then I want to read to you guys, if you give me just 1 second, I want to read to you guys another story. And this story comes from CNN. And it's another just ignorant, anti-LGBT story of a funeral home that refuses to cremate a gay man because they disagree with him being gay. And his lover is suing the funeral home. So let me read to you guys an excerpt from this article, and then I'll be right back to discuss it. All right. It says a gay man is suing a funeral home in Mississippi, alleging that it refused to cremate his husband because it did not deal with their kind, in quotation marks. And this is happening in Mississippi, so it's no shock. And shout out to Mississippi. I'm not judging everyone in Mississippi, but Mississippi is not exactly known for its level of tolerance. It says John Jack Zadowski, or let me see if I'm pronouncing this, Zawatsky, I think it is, Zawatsky, 82, and his nephew filed a lawsuit against Picayune County funeral home owners seeking damages for the breach of contract and emotional distress. The lawsuit accuses them of backing out of a verbal agreement to provide services for Zadowski's husband, Robert Husky, in May 2016 after discovering he was gay. The reversal compounded the family's grief and left them scrambling for alternatives. The only provider they could find was 90 miles away, the lawsuit alleges, leading the family to cancel Husky's memorial. The funeral home declined all claims in the response to the lawsuit. Messages left for the funeral home were not returned as of Tuesday night. The lawsuit filed in March and announced Tuesday by the law firm of Lambda Legal comes as a contentious time for the rights of lesbian and gay, bisexual, transgender Americans. There is no federal law that protects LGBT people from discrimination, leading Democrats to introduce the Equality Act of 2017 Tuesday. All right, so I'm not going to read the entire article, but who refuses to cremate someone? Who does that? I think... I cannot fathom whatsoever how deeply rooted your hate has to be to simply allow someone dignity in death. They're refusing to cremate a person. Now, you'd think they'd be anxious to some degree, being that they're so hateful, to set a gay person on fire, which is essentially what cremation amounts to. But for whatever reason, they don't even want to do that. They don't even want to do that. And so, unfortunately for this poor man, and he's 82 years old, he's having to fight a lawsuit to hopefully set a precedent that will change the way that these businesses, because a lot of these businesses like to operate under the pretense of religious freedom. And there is nothing religious, there is nothing godly, there is nothing Christian about turning away a person in need and turning away a person who is in need of help. One of the basic tenets of the Bible is forgiveness. But unfortunately, people who are quote unquote Christians sometimes pick and choose where they apply that virtue. And in this case, they've obviously chosen not to be forgiving or to be welcoming or to be accommodating to a person who's simply trying to provide a respectful burial for their loved one. So anyhow, you guys, it's so much hate in this world, and it's sad to say that with this whole Trump administration, I only see things getting worse. I only see the divide growing greater, black versus white, gay versus straight, woman versus man. Like, it's just everyone has a sort of angle that they're seeing in the world. And until we as a society learn to understand that we all have a right to be here, everyone has the right to be here. You don't have to like how a person lives. You don't have to like how a person looks. You don't have to agree with certain things. But can we not just be humans just for a little bit and just give each other enough respect to allow people to live in dignity? So with that being said, you guys, I'm going to get out of here. As always, in closing, remember to live better, love harder, and think smarter. Like, comment, and subscribe, please. And remember to follow me across all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Cerebral Diva on all platforms. Spelled just as it's spoken, no underscores, no accent marks, just Cerebral Diva. I'm everywhere. I will talk to you guys again soon. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you again.